Hello, Westford. We start today with breaking news. Planning Board member Dennis Galvin has resigned his seat. We'll also update you on the school committee's override request. And we've just learned that the Department of Environmental Protection is monitoring 4 wells at 540 Groton Road. I'm Ira Keltz, and it's time for WestfordCAT News. Dennis Galvin, who has served on the planning board since 2005, resigned his seat on February 7th. But it's possible he'll still be in the public eye. Galvin is a certified candidate for the Board of Selectmen. Here's what he had to say on February 14th when he spoke with WestfordCAT News Director Joyce Polino-Crane.
And I think the thing that made my decision was the situation with the asphalt plant. I got involved.
We get to the heart of the matter now.
It was really if there was a reason that really, the single most definitive reason why, that would be it. And so
tell us expand on that. Tell us why.
Well, I participated in that in some of the decision making and the discussions that went on, and I just thought that the Board of Selectmen during the process became a little aloof, a little maybe too secretive. There was, I followed that issue for several years, almost 7 years, and there was a significant, unprecedented level of concern about that plant in probably the northern half of the whole town that I had never seen on any issue before in my entire time, and there are people that were very concerned about their property values, their health of their children, what it was going to do to the neighborhood and all this. And of course, we went through a very long, torturous process, and we rejected the plant. And then the Board of Selectmen made the decision to essentially set aside the decision and then reach an accommodation with the plant. And I just thought that at the very least, they should have brought the matter before a special town meeting to let the town make a decision.
Also certified as a candidate for the Board of Selectmen is Tom Clay, a current school committee member. And working on getting certified is Elizabeth Almeida, according to the town clerk's office. Selectman John Sirianni, whose term is ending this spring, is gathering signatures to run for town moderator. The townwide election takes place on May 2nd. School committee member Tom Clay updated selectmen on a proposed override of Proposition 2.5. Clay and his school committee members are trying to close a 6% gap in teachers' salaries by raising property taxes. That gap is determined by comparing Westford's salaries to those in comparable communities. The school committee originally proposed raising $3 million over 3 years. But at the February 14th selectmen's meeting, Clay reduced that amount to $1.6 million over 3 years.
The amount needed to close the teacher pay gap is $1.6 million. That's different than the $3.0 million that we'd had before. As you can see, the primary difference is because of the way the town and the schools had accounted for the progression of steps in the contract, which I can explain more if you're interested.
Clay explained how Director of School Finance Kathy Auth and Superintendent Bill Olson reached their original forecast and why, after consulting with Town Manager Jody Ross and Finance Director Dan O'Donnell, they were able to reduce the requested amount.
Kathy and Bill were unsure exactly how the town was forecasting that step progression. What we had in the forecast was both closing the gap and the step progression. That was $3 million. But upon closer consultation with Jody and Dan, we learned exactly how they were modeling through the step progression, and they were modeling through in a very complete way, which is very similar to the way that the schools do it when they budget their operating budget. And because of that, we saw that there's no need to ask the taxpayers for that step progression amount, because that's actually in the forecast the town already uses in Jody and Dan's budget already.
In a memo to selectmen, Clay noted an average tax bill would increase by $61 in fiscal 2018, $121 in fiscal 19, and $182 in fiscal 2020. The town's fiscal year begins July 1st. Proposition 2.5 is a state law that limits property tax increases. The school committee's request would need approval from town meeting before going to the ballot box. You can watch the entire meeting at WestfordCAT.org. Winter packed a 1-2 punch on the region this past week with a 9-inch snowstorm on February 10th and another 9 inches on February 12th. Here's WestfordCAT's weatherman in residence, Ed Cohen, to reflect on the weather this winter.
We have computer models here, and the next 2 weeks are going to be
The next 2
roughly.
What, when you mean, when you
Roughly.
say hot, like how hot?
Well, I can, some days in the 50s, some days in the 40s. It's only 37, 38 now. Normal. The
Typical
yes,
average temperature for this time of year
about
would be
37,
around-
38. That's all.
And right now, what is it today?
Today's about 41,
And you
which is my age.
expect the temperature to go up?
Well, tomorrow will go down. Next day is about the same. Saturday, low 40s, as of now, folks. And then it'll go milder, 50s on Sunday, a little bit cooler Monday, Tuesday, but basically it's way above normal. Look, the climate's changing. Everybody hear that? I mean, obviously, global warming does exist.
Health Director Jeff Stevens told Board of Health members on February 13th that the State Department of Environmental Protection recently tested water in 4 monitor wells at 540 Groton Road, the site of the proposed asphalt plant. Stevens said there appeared to be no heavy metals in the water, but the environmental protectors did find a discrepancy.
The concerning thing was the items that DEP called drinking water disinfection byproducts. And they were not necessarily concerned, but they wanted to know why they were there, because monitor wells shouldn't have them. There's a potential reason being that the drilling equipment had disinfection byproducts on it from when it drilled a previous well. I don't know the answer to that, but DEP decided there was some irregularities, and they're going back out with the third-party tester, and they're going to retest those wells. I would imagine in the next 2 weeks.
The wells were installed in November, according to Stevens, and in other Board of Health news, Ellen Hardy, who owns the building with Muffins on Main, asked to add a few seats inside the breakfast nook.
We are very busy in that sit-down time, and if we could have that one additional table that we had originally asked for, which would be a table for 4, and if we could have permission to put 2 more stools at the counter by the window, it would not increase the amount of people who are there. It would simply allow more people to sit down rather than have to take out for the meals that are there. So that is our request. That would be the maximum we would ever ask for. The space would not accommodate any more than those additional 6 seats. We designed it for 16. So we're asking if at this point in time we might be able to do that.
The members approved the variance unanimously 4-0. The board's 5th position is vacant due to the February 5th resignation of Helen Fu. Board of Health members and selectmen will appoint a new member to finish out her term. Well, winter finally took hold in New England, but what's in store for us in the coming days? Here's Joe Seppi with the forecast.
Hello, Westford. This is Joe Seppi with the weather forecast for this weekend, the week of February 20th. We hopefully see some snow melting this weekend as mild air moves in on Sunday. On Saturday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 42 and a low of 29. The temperature may climb to near 50 degrees on Sunday. It'll be partly cloudy with a high of 47 and a low of 29. On Monday, it'll be bright and sunny. The high will be around 41 and low around 20. On Tuesday, we'll see partly cloudy skies with a high of 39 degrees and a chilly low of 26 degrees. Clouds and occasional rain showers move in on Wednesday. The high will be 44 and low around 27. The clouds will stick around into Thursday with periods of freezing drizzle in the morning and evening. The high will be around 44 degrees and a low 30 degrees. On Friday, you'll see another damp day with rain and snow in the morning and again at night. The high will be around 40 degrees and low around 30 degrees. That was your Westford weather. Have a great week, everyone.
Bud, a 6-year-old tomcat, is waiting for a home at the Lowell Humane Society. Here's Patty Stalker with information on how you can adopt him and other animals at the shelter.
WestfordCAT's Adoptable Pets series has been paramount in finding dozens of pets at the Lowell Humane Society loving homes. This week, Marketing and Fundraising Manager Crystal Arnott introduces us to an affectionate 6-year-old tomcat named Bud.
So this is Bud. Bud is a 6.5-year-old domestic short-hair cat, and he's been here at the shelter for just about a week now. When he came in, he wasn't feeling so hot. He had a little bit of the sneeze, but he's all better now and he's doing great. My favorite thing about him is his big fat face. He's just got cheeks that you want to grab onto. And he's a really sweet boy. He's very affectionate, loves to be pet, loves to sit with you. He's not a huge fan of being held. I'm surprised he's let me hold him for so long. But he's very, very sweet. He loves to be around people. Bud is FIV positive. FIV is feline immunodeficiency virus. So some people liken it to HIV with humans. It is a cat-only virus, so other animals can't catch it, only other cats. There are many cats who can live successfully with FIV with other cats, but for him, he just doesn't like cats in general, so he shouldn't live with them. But, you know, just like any other cat, you want to keep them healthy. He was surrendered by a family or by a single woman who was worried about his sneezing. She was afraid that he was very, very sick since he had FIV and the sneezing, and she couldn't afford vet care. So she surrendered him to us. And we're just looking for a family who, you know, if he gets those sneezes again, can bring him into the vet for an exam and get on some antibiotics. He recovered very well from that. He's also going to have a dental before he goes home, and that'll be included in the adoption fee. No additional cost for that. We'll take care of it.
To learn more about Bud or any of the other pets available now for adoption, or to find out how to donate, volunteer, foster a pet, or fill their wish list, go to lowellhumanesociety.org or visit them at 951 Broadway Street in Lowell. Call 978-452-7781. For WestfordCAT, I'm Patty Stalker.
Hi everyone, I'm Rakesh Sharma, your Ayurveda practitioner, back with a new health tip for WestfordCAT News. Today I'm going to talk about rose water. Rose water has a great significance in Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a 5,000 years old traditional system of healing from India, helping you heal naturally by balancing the natural elements of the body. Rose water helps to balance the heart by balancing the Sadak Pitta, which further balances the emotions and its effects on the heart. Not only this, rose water also helps to balance the mind as it governs the brain and respiration. It also enhances the digestive fire, thereby providing equilibrium of the three doshas, that is air, fire, and water component of the body. When rose water applied to the skin gives miraculous results as it delays the signs of aging and reduces acne. In order to get the benefits, add half tablespoon of rose water to half cup of milk and drink 2 to 3 times a week. If you have lactose intolerant, drink it in water to get the benefits. If you have any other allergies, please contact your PCP before consuming. I'll be back with a new health tip. Bye for now.
And now here's WestfordCAT Marketing Director Sarah Fletcher with this week's events around town.
Thanks, Ira. Today I'm here at the Westford Museum to deliver a few events and things you can do around town. The Westford Business Association will hold its 3rd annual Town Managers Meeting on Tuesday, March 7th from 8 to 10 a.m. at Juniper Networks. They're located at 10 Technology Park Drive. Town managers from Groton, Tingsboro, Chelmsford, and Westford's own Jody Ross will discuss economic development in and around Westford. Check-in and networking starts at 7:30 a.m. To register, email Westford Business Association at westfordbusinessassociation@gmail.com. This event is free and sponsored by Lowell 5 and Circle Health. The Westford Conservation Trust holds monthly meetings, typically on the third Thursday of each month at 7 p.m. They're held at the Roden Bush Community Center. The meetings are open to the public. Members of the Trust often give guided nature walks along the town's many trails. You can join them on Saturday, March 4th at 9 a.m. when they'll be walking the Beaver Brook Conservation Land. The Westford Conservation Trust is a private, nonprofit group founded in 1984 to preserve land and other natural resources. Meetings focus on the Trust's mission of preserving and maintaining land. For more information, visit westfordconservationtrust.org. There's a knitting group that meets at the J.V. Fletcher Library every second and fourth Monday from 3 to 5 p.m. Bring your latest project and share advice and socialize with other knitters. All ages are welcome and no registration is necessary. The next meeting takes place on February 27th. If you have any questions, please contact Christina Liedberg at 978-399-2309. If you'd like your events mentioned on our news show and displayed on our bulletin board, email us at westfordcat@westfordcat.org and we'll be happy to announce them. So that's all for now. Back to you, Ira.
And that's a wrap for this week, Westford. We end today with scenes of the Senior Sweetheart Luncheon on Valentine's Day at the First Parish Church United.
Thank you.